AI agent in the world on your website, but if people aren't using it and interacting with it, there's a problem there because the client isn't actually getting value on their end, a metric that you have to look at. And we do that by analyzing the transcripts through Chatdash, looking at the response lengths and the complexity of the response.
Really great to hear that you are actually retaining your customers. You're adding more over time first. Hey Tommy, thanks for hopping in today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and can you give us a quick intro of yourself? Who are you and what does your agency do?
Yeah, so we're called Perpetual AI. We're a Cork-based artificial intelligence company in Ireland, and we essentially build AI agents for customer service for a range of different businesses across Ireland and Europe at the moment.
Cool. So how big is your team?
So there's two co-founders at the company, obviously myself and David Hanley. So we started the company 11 months ago now, and we've been running it just with the two of us. We're also partnered with Granite Digital, which is Ireland's largest digital transformation agency. So we're very lucky to be supported by Granite as well. But in terms of staff members, it's just myself and David at the moment. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the partnership itself? Is it more like they're bringing you client base, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the partnership with Granite is kind of multifaceted in the sense that, first off, you're correct with the client support. Obviously, Granite is an absolutely massive company. They're not just in Ireland, they're also in the USA. They have two offices in New York at the moment. They're in Dubai. They've recently opened an office in Dubai, and they're in another different regions as well. So they have a huge client base, and essentially Granite's main service offering is that they build websites, and that's quite a good fit for Perpetual AI because we build AI agents that typically sit on businesses' websites, and that's not a service offering that Granite provides at the moment in-house. So I think from the client point of view, as you said, it's great that Perpetual and Granite can collaborate on projects together, and they'll do the website service piece and we'll do the AI agents. So typically it's with client support and also development support. Obviously, they have a huge amount of developers at the company, and we can get technical support from them when we run into any issues or whatnot. So we're very lucky and grateful to be with Granite.
Yeah, that sounds like a really win-win situation for both of you guys, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, we're very lucky. It's a good situation that we find ourselves in. Yeah.
And you worked there previously, right?
I did. So that's kind of where the relationship began. So I'm nearly 24, but I worked at Granite from the age of 16 all the way up to 22 or 23. So I was actually at the company previously for 7 years. So they developed my skills professionally and on a technical level. So that's kind of why we've been in a good position where we can actually form the partnership. It's a nice story.
Congrats on that.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
All right. And can you tell us a bit more about your more specifically what kind of AI agents you build? Is it text or voice? Do you have any specific niche?
Yeah, so essentially what we focus on at the moment is customer service AI agents, and they're primarily text-based, but we are looking to expand into the voice area at the moment as well. And one gap that we found in the market is that there's a lot of companies out there providing chatbots. And you've probably picked up on it now. We don't like to use the word chatbot because I feel there can be quite a negative association to that term. And we can completely see why, because a lot of the conversational ability and problem solving ability that you see from a chatbot is quite linear and quite rigid. And if the AI company doesn't put effort into really building out the knowledge base, which is essentially the brain of the chatbot, you're going to be left in a tricky situation where the virtual agent basically can't handle a broad range of queries like a human can. So we take a very personal approach with our clients where we will sit down with them, we'll talk with them, we'll really build out the full knowledge of their business so that their virtual AI agent is completely equipped to handle nuanced queries and a broad range of questions. So that's essentially what we do. We're quite a personal AI agency that we work on bespoke projects for clients rather than having preset templates and kind of just firing them out, because that can lead to mixed results.
So, out of curiosity, how do you track any kind of metrics, like resolution rate of your customer support agent?
Yeah, so we track a lot of metrics to determine the success with our clients. The success rate is one of them, and we can do that through analyzing the transcripts through Chatdash. And another key metric for us, and it's quite an obvious one, but I do think it's important to track, is actually the usage levels. So one thing that we've discovered is you can have the best AI agent in the world on your website, but if people aren't using it and interacting with it, there's a problem there because the client isn't actually getting value on their end. So we monitor the usage as well quite closely. And I think the third and fourth one we'd monitor is the amount of languages the AI agent is speaking in, because we pride ourselves on developing multilingual AI agents to serve global audiences and a diverse amount of potential customers for our clients. So we also track how many languages the agent spoke in that month. And the last one then would be hours saved, which is obviously a direct ROI metric that you have to look at. And we do that by analyzing the transcripts through Chatdash, looking at the response lengths and the complexity of the response, and using an AI model to determine the ROI based on the amount of queries it answered in that specific month. So that's how we break down the value that we're providing to the various different clients.
Yeah, awesome. So you're tracking all those metrics, like core metrics of your AI agents. Do Chatdash, right?
Yeah. Chatdash has been very helpful with centralizing all of the conversations from the agents that we've built. And it's great then for our clients to be able to log in and look at the different metric results. It's been a very valuable tool for us.
Cool. All right. And moving on to the next question. I'd like to know your pricing more. How does that work? Is it one time fee plus, ongoing maintenance fee, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we operate on a tiered subscription model with silver, gold, and platinum packages. So there's 3 options there depending on the specific needs of the client. For example, if multilingual isn't a huge part of your business, you could fall into the silver tier package, because multilingual isn't covered in the entry package, and it's annual subscription model. So our clients have all signed up to 12 months, which is great, because I think over that 12-month period, you really have a chance to form the relationship. As I said earlier, we are quite a personal business where we like to keep in touch with our clients, and we can tweak and refine responses over time. We also have a one-time setup fee, which is relatively cheap, but that just covers the actual development costs on our end, because as I said to you, we don't necessarily work on preset templates that we just fire out for 10 different clients. We like to really build bespoke solutions that kind of fit the particular goal that they're looking to achieve. So there's just a one-time setup fee for that as well, just for the initial development, and then the annual subscription.
That all makes sense. Yeah. And I was wondering, do you guys have like a dedicated pricing page for your services?
We used to have a pricing page on our website, but to be honest, we actually got rid of it. It was one thing we've discovered as an AI agency building bespoke projects is it's very hard to give predefined pricing for everything, because some clients will need 3 API services to look at different events, different products, etc. And that drives up the costs on our end. So we actually don't publicize the price. It's not on the website because we do have to tweak it on our end depending on the usage, the complexity, etc. We do tweak it as different projects come on our plate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this whole makes sense considering the fact that you are doing it all customized solution, right?
Yeah.
So instead of like having like a niche industry specific agent template, you just build a bespoke solution to all of each of your clients, right? So in that case, I think it makes more sense to like just add a CPA to book a call on your website and just fully talk about what your client actually needs and give a customized support for each of your client. That's all makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been the best approach for us so far anyway. So yeah,
I see. Just top of my head, do you have any plan to have some sort of narrow solution for a specific industry or dish, so that you can basically have a template for that?
Yeah, so the 4 main segments and target markets of our company are tourism. We're working with the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland, which is Ireland's largest tourist attraction. They bring in hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. So tourism would be a main segment for us. Education would be another segment, particularly universities and colleges. We're working with Geneva Business School in Switzerland, which is one of the biggest colleges in Europe. So that would be another segment. The credit union sector, which is financial services. We're targeting that sector as well quite heavily. And the last one would be e-commerce. So getting to your question then, it is helpful that we have main segments identified, because we can have some elements of the solution that can be preset. And obviously there will always be a bit of tweaking on our end depending on the specific needs of the client. But we will get to a stage where we do have very defined solutions for those 4 segments, because that's where we feel we've provided the most value so far.
I see.
Yeah.
And out of those 4 segments, what do you think is the number one dish, in your opinion?
I think the number one issue that those 4 segments are facing is that all of them have really, really large websites with a huge amount of information on them. And that's not even a criticism, by the way, because those 4 segments do have a lot of information that they have to put forward to their potential customers. However, it does create a challenge on the consumer end, because if I log on to a tourism website or a financial services website or a college, and if I'm looking for one specific query that is on the website somewhere, it can be extremely confusing to actually get to the bottom of what you're looking for. And typically the information is actually somewhere on the website and it is buried within a sub-page on a navigation menu. But a lot of people don't have the patience to actually go through the different pages on the site. So with the AI agent, people can completely bypass that process and just get the information pulled into them in a summarized way. And I think that's a win-win for the client because they're reducing their customer service needs because they're not answering repetitive queries over and over. And for the actual customers of the client, because they're just getting their information immediately rather than digging through different URLs on websites and whatnot. So I think that would be the main issue that I think is universal across those four segments that we're catering for at the moment.
I see. All right. Well, my question was like, out of those four segments, what do you think would be the most like profitable niche or best niche you can stay into? Because like you will not be able to do four at the same time as a prototype services, right? So if you have to launch your prototype service like tomorrow, or what would that be?
I think it's very hard to pick one because I think the traction we've had in those four different segments have been really strong. What I would say is in the university space with higher level education, the traffic on our AI agents are extremely, extremely high. It's the highest that we've ever seen from any of our clients. So I think from a value point of view and from a usage point of view, I think the educational sector would be the one that we'd probably target the heaviest. Yeah.
I see. That's very interesting. So university websites have a lot of usage of
Yeah. So from what we've seen, the traffic is phenomenal. Hundreds and hundreds of conversations a week, which is great for us to see because you can actually see there's value being demonstrated there, and their customer or their student support center, it's decreasing with traffic. Yeah, great sense.
And it's very, I think, sounds like as long as the AI agent is working well and people are actually using it, you can basically create your value prop really easily, right? Instead of hiring more staff, just use our AI agent. Let's say you someone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're basically like, charging you 1/10 of your human labor, something like that.
Very neat. And another side with education as well, and we've seen this from our AI agent and looking at the analytics through Chatdash, is the website visitors are coming from all different countries across the globe, and our agents do exceed in multilingual capability. So even from a staff hiring point of view, you won't be able to have a tier of customer support staff that speaks Spanish, French, English, German, Dutch, etc. It's just going to be too costly. Nobody can do that. So that's another beauty of automating the query handling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, all makes sense.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. So moving on, let's talk about lead generation. How do you get your clients?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, and I don't think there's one definitive answer for you because we've done pretty much everything to get our clients so far. It has just been a blend of all of the typical generic general business outreach methods. So as I said, we're based in Ireland, and Ireland does have a very supportive business network. So we go to business events here in Ireland. We're members at the Cork Chamber, which is a chamber of businesses within County Cork. And that's been great from a networking point of view. As I mentioned, partnerships is another area that we're very focused on. So we get client help from Granite Digital, which is also great. We do cold outreach. So we do cold calling. We'll call into businesses, cold email. That's another route we go down. We're very active on LinkedIn, not so much on Twitter and the other platforms, but LinkedIn is a place where we communicate a lot with potential customers. So to be honest, it really is just a blend of everything. And thankfully as well, we're getting inbound leads now through our actual website, which is great for us to see. So it's just a hybrid of all of the methods I mentioned there. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you're pretty much doing everything from reworking channel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we are very busy. Myself and David are acting as the salespeople, the chief technical officer, the chief financial officer, chief legal officer. We're doing everything. And obviously the nature of a startup, you have to. But no, we love it. It's a great challenge to wake up to every day trying to grow this business that you own, you know.
And just for curiosity, do you have any rough estimate on how much of your leads are coming from which channel?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think LinkedIn would be our primary source of clients that we've got today. Very, very powerful platform for us reaching out to businesses. And the main goal isn't to actually sell an AI agent to a potential customer through a LinkedIn chat, because that's just completely ridiculous. But what we do ask is that they meet us either for a coffee in person if they're close to us, or else hopping on a video call like this. And most people are willing to actually meet, because AI is definitely an area where every business has to explore it, in my opinion, or else you are going to fall behind. So LinkedIn has been great. As I said, the networking with different events in Ireland. I know we're a very small country in the grand scheme of things, but our business presence is very strong. So we're lucky with networking here. So I'd say networking in LinkedIn, and granted now that partnership has been up and running for about 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So that's starting to warm up and bring business into us too. So yeah, they'd be kind of the main three. I'd say the LinkedIn would probably represent 40% of our business.
That's interesting. So do you do only content or on LinkedIn, or do the like outbound?
So as I mentioned to you earlier, we kind of have 4 key target markets, and we produce content that is catered for those target markets. I think about 4 weeks ago, for example, we did a analysis on AI agents in education. So that's on our LinkedIn page, and that's got read by people in universities and third level education. So that's the kind of content piece that we're producing. We do blogs, and we do a lot of outbound as well. A lot of outbound on LinkedIn. So it is kind of a blend really, but probably a bit more outbound than actual content. Actually, one thing I would say, and it might be valuable to someone watching this, the only sales engine, I suppose, that we've completely explored, and we don't believe it works for us, is cold outreach through email. We tried emailing a lot of people, tweaking the content, even putting in personalized PDFs, and we just found the results were very, very poor from email. So that's the one sales channel of our business that we've actually killed off, because just in our particular case, it might work for other people, but the response rates are close enough to 1%. If you sent 100 emails, possibly 1 to 2 would reply. So that's one great learning that we've got over the last few months.
People with the personalized message and a personalized a little more, PDF, people don't even open it, don't even care about it.
Exactly. Like, even in my own case, if I'm on it, I get about 20 emails a day with people trying to sell something to Perpetual AI. And 95% of the time, I just delete it immediately, because it's not a channel I think people like anymore for their sales. And that's one part of the sales channel that we've closed off. because you just don't think it's the way forward.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I stay here.
Yeah.
I use AI to automatically segment those pitch emails. And I don't even look at it. I don't even know I got those. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
very soon. Can you briefly share about your, client base? How many client base do you have?
Yeah, so we're up at 15 clients at the moment, which is actually good for us because only a couple of months ago, we were kind of stuck on that 9 to 10 figure. But we've got a lot of business, particularly in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So, yeah, we're up at 15. I think we're close to kind of getting to 17, 18. But obviously these things take time and the sales cycle can take a number of weeks. But no, we're sure a company that's not even 1 year old. We're very happy with the position we're in.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks. We're obviously we're certainly not where we need to be, but we're always growing and we're excited and we're confident in moving forward.
Oh, I mean, I'll say you're probably top 5% of customers people work with. Right? Because a lot of people are just up with 3 or 4 customers, and they're struggling to keep those current customer base, and just getting the same amount of customers every single month, but you're losing the same amount of customers.
Yeah.
So really great to hear that you are actually retaining your customers. You're adding more over time first.
Thanks. Yeah, the churn rate, actually losing customers is another huge part of the business that you have to monitor. Thankfully, over the 11-month periods, all of our customers have stayed with us. They're very happy. And as I said at the start, I've probably said it a few times, we are a very personal business in the sense that if we can literally drive to our clients and meet them for a cup of coffee, we will. I know from a scaling point of view and being as efficient as possible, some people would view that as a waste of time because you should be looking to move on and get more and more and more. But we do like to be very personal with our clients, and we think in the long term, it pays off rather than being a bit cold and just a bit like a faceless organization. We're actually kind of the opposite to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're doing great. I think you're taking advantage of being a star, right?
Yeah.
Your clients get to talk to you, the founder, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's a great opportunity for you to gather feedbacks for your clients. While just having a copy, they're just talking about what kind of pain do they have on top of the problems you're solving for them right now. So
yeah,
I think you did a great job, in terms of being personal with having a personal relationship with your clients. And that's why you don't know any customers.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the main aspects to keeping the customers is obviously the product has to be good. That's number one, but the relationship side of things as well is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Because even for me, it's very hard for me to have a personal relationship with clients. And I was running my agency here because I'm I really like to be efficient. As a business owner, I want to make it as efficient as possible. I want to save my time as much as possible that I can focus on the one thing, mostly building product or getting more customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the same time, it's very important to actually talk to customers.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, eventually, eventually that will pay off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I completely understand what you mean, where you want to be as efficient as possible and you want to get your clients in and move on to the next one and grow. And I think that's also a great approach. And the reality is trying to balance the two of good relationships and also being efficient. That's probably the number one position to be in. But it is a very hard balance to steer. Yeah.
Yeah. Really search. And let me ask this. I know you are, doing all customized pricing for your clients, but what's your best performing offer so far?
I think our best performing offer would probably be our goals package, which is the middle tier package that we offer. Probably the reason for that is under the goal package, it's typically still an affordable cost. And we bring in the multilingual performance into the AI agent where it can speak really confidently in up to 99 languages. So I think the fact that we can offer that under the goals package is something that a lot of businesses really appreciate, to be honest. I think the other aspect as well is obviously I've mentioned our agents being deployed on websites for all of this call, but the goal package, we can also deploy the agents on WhatsApp and different social media channels. And I think that's another nice offer to give to our clients under a relatively affordable solution. So I think it would be out of our silver, gold, platinum package, probably the gold would be the highest uptake.
Yeah, the middle one. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Cool. And we'll be on to chat questions.
Yeah.
What problem were you trying to solve when you first found ChatMesh?
Great question. So I think one of the main challenges that AI agencies have is you can build really, really good AI agents or AI chatbots, whatever you want to call them, and deploy them on a client's website. But if you don't have a centralized dashboard of your different metrics, the usage, etc., it's very, very hard to demonstrate the value that you're providing to an organization. And you can be left in a tricky situation where you acknowledge that you've built a great solution. Even the client acknowledges that you've built a great solution, but it's very hard to quantify or justify the value you're actually delivering. And even if you look at website companies, for example, companies that build websites, web agencies, they have mastered this in a really strong sense because they can use tools like Google Analytics, different e-commerce analytics, and they can literally tell you to the exact cent how much revenue that they've driven into the organization, because you can look at the conversion rates on different pages, how much revenue certain products come in. It can be so defined. And I think if you're building websites, it's very easy for you to command a high price because you can really demonstrate if you pay X, we will deliver Y. But I think before Chatdash was around, that was very hard for AI agencies to justify to their clients. And you basically had a situation where everyone acknowledged that the situation and the solution you built was great, but nobody knows how much it's worth because the analytics from different platforms are only okay. They're not that in depth. Whereas the way Chatdash presents it and lays it out and gives different people login access, it's fantastic. And it's really good at showing the power of the different AI agents that are being built.
Yeah, I think it seems like you face the same problem I faced when I first started Chatdash, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, I saw that, I started as a voicemail agency before, actually starting Chatdash.
Yeah.
And I basically face the same issue like yours. Because I feel, the voice sales agents building platforms are good. It's really good. It's working and you can do many different things, right? And as LLM gets better, you know, AI's intelligence really like basically, I would say like do 70% of customer support tickets, right?
Yeah.
So we get that. And we built a great agent for clients. But the thing is, when it comes to actual deliver it to the client, there's no way for us to show concrete metrics, concrete ROI. Yeah, this implementation. Because like when I demo my agent to the client, like client says, "Oh, it looks cool. It's answering my questions. It looks cool." But when it comes to actually, getting down to make an investment, it's not at all. The
Yeah.
whole demo doesn't work, right?
Oh, you need to have a great,
Yeah, you need to have you need to show like concrete ROI in numbers.
Yeah.
From that point of view, like some sort of client-facing dashboard, right, contains all the ROI metrics data. It's it's needed, right? It's necessary.
Yeah.
To code just, you know what I mean? You can build great agents and some voiceful, but like when it comes to selling it, you need to show it. You need to show the ROI. How much money you generate from that. You know what I mean? So I think your issue very resonated with me as well. And that's exactly why I started Touch.
Yeah. Well,
Great to hear that.
you've done a great job at addressing the problem. So well done.
And following up on that, why did you decide to use Chatdash over other solutions? Because you might have built your own solution, or you might have used other solutions out there in the market. Basically, like cobbling together different tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to use Chatdash?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. First off, I mentioned at the start of the interview that our process with building our AI agents are very bespoke in the sense that we spend a lot of time refining our LLM, speaking to the client about what knowledge needs to be within the agent. So that's a huge bespoke process already. So for us to go off as a business and completely develop our own custom dashboard that's proprietary to us, we felt it just wasn't a route that was necessary at the moment because a great platform like Chatdash existed. Then looking at the other third-party analytic providers for chatbots, we've looked at a few, and the very simple answer is we think Chatdash is the best. So that's why we use Chatdash.
All right, that makes sense. Thanks for choosing us. Yeah. We are excited to work with you, like even further.
Me too.
Yeah. We have a team of 3, and we just transition into full time. And now we're just developing Chatdash like every day. So
That's so cool. Well done.
yeah. So let me know if you have any feature requests along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you in the future as well.
Brilliant.
And my last question: would you recommend Chatdash to other agencies? Why or why not?
I would. Yeah, I would. I think I've explained how it's helped our business a lot already with demonstrating the ROI. I think for any AI agency building chatbots or agents, it's very important that you demonstrate the analytics in a presentable and easy to understand way. You can't go down the route of using spreadsheets or Google Docs because that's just unprofessional. It doesn't look good. So basically, as an agency, you have 2 options. You can either develop your own, and at the moment, that probably isn't worth it, or you can look at a third party. And in my opinion, Chatdash is the best at the analytical dashboard piece, and I think it's a very wise business decision. I think your pricing is very reasonable for the value that you deliver. So I think it's just a no-brainer. And we spoke earlier about client churn and losing clients and how do you retain them. I know I mentioned our approach with personal relationships, but the analytics as well is another great way to keep your clients, and you should be always logging into your analytical dashboard and looking at the different metrics, the usage, doing ROI calculations like we do on how much time we save you based on the complexity of responses, all that. I think it's just a no-brainer in our opinion to adopt Chatdash.
Oh, thanks for your answering. And I think it's great to hear that you feel like your customer churn rate, such a low customer churn rate, is probably because, of course, your personal relationship with them, but at the same time, the dashboard where your clients can log in and see, all the metrics, all the go. It's probably one of the factors as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. All right. I think that's pretty much it from my end.
Brilliant. Thanks a million for having me. It was great to talk with you, and
Same here, pal.
keep up the great work.